who has made a significant contribution in the field of food science and nutrition in India and abroad. Uh, uh, I It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Asna Urooj to you all people. Dr. Asna Urooj, madam, has obtained a master's and a PhD degree in food science and nutrition from University of Mysore, and presently working as a professor and chairperson of the Department of Studies in Food Science and Nutrition. She has over 30 years of teaching and research experience. So our first area of research includes clinical nutrition, that is development of disease-specific formulations and their clinical trials, then phytochemistry and antioxidant pre-clinical and clinical studies. Uh, so far, she has successfully guided 23 PhD students and 7 PhD students are working currently under her guidance. And she has monitored more than 100 MSc student dissertations. And she is also consultant nutritionist for CSI World Holdsworth Memorial Hospital and Gopal Gowda Memorial Hospital, from the past 12 years, I think more than 12 years. She has almost 24 research publications published in peer-reviewed national and international journals with citation of 5,379 with a net index of 36 and I-10 index of 92. And she has presented papers in national and international 350 research papers in national and international conferences, and she has filed 3 patents. And so far she has completed 14 projects, and 2 ongoing projects are there. And she has collaboration with the University of Manchester, the University of Reading, UK, and Northwestern University, US. So, apart from that, she has a lot of accolades and awards to her credit. To name few, she is UGC FRPS Mid-Career Award grant received in 2021, and a special recognition award for oral presentation in third International Diabetes Summit held at Pune in 2019. Dr. Rajamal P. Devadas Memorial Award for outstanding contribution in the field of applied nutrition sciences by Nutrition Society of India in 2017. Then Academician Award by Nutritionist Republic for highest publication by Nutritionist 2013. And Professor G.S. Bayan Lifetime Achievement Award for credible achievement in the area of nutrition in 2011, given by Association of Food Scientists and Technologists of India. Then she also recipient of state awards like Dr. Kalpana Chawla Award, young woman scientist in the field of science and technology awarded by Government of Karnataka in the year 2019, and also Young Scientist Award uh, given by Indian Diabetes Association in 1990 as well as 92, and Nutrition Society of India 1993, then RSSDI 2004, International College of Nutrition in 2003, no, sorry, 1993. So she has almost 55 Best Paper Awards in various national and international conferences with co-authors. So along with that, she also has vast experience of administrative experience, and served the Department of Studies in Food Science and Nutrition from 2014 to 21. And she also delivered 130 invited talks as resource person at scientific meetings and conferences of national and international level. And she is member secretary of Institutional Human Ethics Committee, University of Mysore, and coordinator of Intellectual Property Rights, University of Mysore. And she served as a reviewer for many international scientific journals. And she is member of Scientific Committee, FSSAI, Government of India, member of NAC team visits, then recognized guide for food science and nutrition as well as biochemistry. Then chairperson of Board of Studies in Food Science and Nutrition and Human Development. She is a member of Registered Dietitian National Board and served as Vice President as AFST from 2021 to 22, and member of UGC, ICMR and DBT Expert Committee for Evaluating Research Proposals. She served as Deputy Registrar of Planning and Development Section on Deputation from 2004 to 2007. Also served as Chairperson of Internal Complaint Committee, Prevention of Sexual Harassment from 2017, 12 to 2017. Then she was elected as the President of Indian Dietetics Association, Mysore chapter from 2014 to 18, and member of Academic Council of Sri Satya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, Prashanti Nilayam, and advisory board member of Nestle and GSK companies, and coordinator for National Diabetes Education Program from 2011 to 13, and also served as member of Malpractice and Lapses in Examination Committee of University of Mysore. So with this brief introduction, I take this opportunity to welcome you, madam, to this 16th refresher course in life sciences. On behalf of all the participants, as well as on my personal behalf and on behalf of UGC-HRDC Center. So I welcome you, madam, and I request you to present your talk. Over to you, madam.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Rajkumar Garpalli. All fellow teachers, welcome to the, I think you're already into this course since several days. I'm going to, address about biofortification today. So I think I have about an hour or so, more than an hour.
1 hour, 15 minutes. No problem. Yes.
Okay. I will share the screen. Yeah, is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
Okay.
So is it possible to make it yes, madam. Now it's
Yes,
good.
ma'am.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
I have made it on the slide share, this one.
yes, madam.
Well, since I was told by Dr. Rajkumar that this is a blend, this refresher courses on life sciences, you have blend of, faculty from various areas of life sciences. And I'm also told that there are a few from food technology background, botany, biology and all. I thought this would be of interest to, enrich our knowledge on biofortification aspect. So I have titled it as Biofortification of Crops for Positive Nutritional Outcomes. Now, in today's world, despite so much of advancement, we still are finding the existence of malnutrition in many forms and shapes. Over the years, the problem of malnutrition has become grave. It has now taken in the form, it has taken shape in the form of overweight and obesity, which is causing a lot of risk factor. It is a huge risk factor for non-communicable diseases. So in many countries, efforts are being made, including India, efforts are being made to identify what are the major risk factors and how to overcome. We are still grappling with malnutrition in children, where they will end up being stunted or wasted. That is, they don't attain the height for their age, they don't attain the weight for their height, and as a result, they will exhibit different forms of malnutrition. And because of being malnourished in the early years of growth and development, it will bear a lasting impact on their life in later years. So, and also it needless to say that it increases the risk of non-communicable diseases. So, what are the various approaches which are used to overcome these? That is the lower nutritive value in certain staple crops, and how can we improve the nutritive content in order to enhance and also for positive nutritional outcomes? So that will be the gist of it. Now, this is the brief outline of what I'm going to talk of. I'll be talking about nutrition security, and it is in the context of nutrition security that many fortification or supplementation programs are being launched, and they are being offered. And specifically, I am going to talk on biofortification. What are the nutrients which are targeted? We can't enhance the nutritive content of all the nutrients because there are about overall 46 nutrients are there. Not all of them are present in all plants. So which are the nutrients which can be targeted through biofortification, and what are the methods, and which are the crops which are presently successfully biofortified, and what is the status in India, and just a quick look at global initiatives, and ultimately we can end it up with what is the usefulness of it, or rather impact on public health. And needless to say, most of these programs or agricultural practices which we want to revisit and enhance will definitely face challenges both at the policy level or implementation level, or at the land level also the farmer may face. So we'll have a quick look at that. So as all are aware, nutrition is very vital for proper growth and development. And also it helps in disease prevention and maintaining the body metabolism and all. We know that not all nutrients are synthesized in the human body. That is why we consume through food. And along with the nutrients, there are anti-nutritional factors also. And nutritional quality in high yielding varieties of cereals, pulses, and all has been accomplished by using breeding methods. This is just a quick background. Now, coming to the actual fact of why we are so much concerned about it is because there are two sides of a coin. Like if you do not consume a healthy diet or a nutritionally adequate diet, then you cannot enjoy good health. So health and nutrition go hand in hand. And when we talk of malnutrition, there are many things which contribute to malnutrition. Most of the important factor is the poverty and low level of education, and the other surrounding factors are poor hygiene and sanitation, maybe unaware, poor awareness, being homeless, and no access for healthcare, etc., and accessibility of food, and there is no diet diversity. So in order to overcome all these, one has to be, in order to prevent ourselves from becoming malnourished, we must be secure with respect to nutrition. So what do we mean by nutrition security is the availability of food in a continuous manner. You should be secure with respect to the food at the home level, at the community level, at the state level, and at the country level. So nutrition security, as is described, it is essentially an investment, and it is in the context of alleviating the poverty, enhance the education, and improve the health, and also not to forget that there should not be gender inequality. Now, a quick look at food security versus nutrition security. Food security is having enough food to eat, but even in nutrition security, the food intake is included. But apart from overall any food, it is which type of food, because all foods are not complete with respect to all the nutrients. So therefore nutrition security will address issues like with respect to micronutrients, that is vitamins and minerals and other macronutrients, and how available the food is, and what is the carrying capacity at the home level, and what is the availability of health services, and also the environmental factors. So malnutrition, we understand, is just, I mean, if a child is malnourished, we can anticipate him to be thin or short, that is stunted and wasted, has no much muscle in his body. Besides that, like, there is also another form of malnutrition which is not visible to the naked eye, and that is referred to as hidden hunger, which means it's because of lack of the malnutrition is because of lack of critical micronutrients in the diet. So which are those micronutrients? I'm sure you are all aware that the vitamins and minerals are referred to as the micronutrients because we need them in very small, minute quantity on a daily basis to support and enhance the metabolism of all the macronutrients. And besides that, these micronutrients, though they are needed in very small quantities, they play a major role in many of the functions. For example, iron in anemia, then zinc has a major role in conferring us immunity, then iodine for the making of thyroid hormone, vitamin A for good vision. Apart from that, there are many other functions of these micronutrients. Now, although there are more than 30 micronutrients, including vitamins and minerals, all of them do have their specific functions to perform. But these critical micronutrients, these four are picked up because if the child is lacking in these four micronutrients, right from fetal life up to the adolescent stage, then it can impair, it can have lasting effect on mental and physical development of the child and even in the adolescent age. So what is the effect if they suffer from long-term micronutrient deficiency is their intelligence quotient. They will not enjoy a good IQ. That is, their IQ will be lower, and this can also have an impact on reduced productivity. Then because of low levels of zinc, low consumption of zinc, along with the low protein deficiency and energy deficiency, their risk of morbidity will be increased and the child will be stunted. And because of the lack of vitamin A, there are chances of it affecting the vision also. So these are the impairments which are associated with lack of critical micronutrients. Now let's have a look at the global figure. The reports say that about 2 billion suffer from iron or zinc deficiency or both. Then about 7 million children, particularly under the age of 5, die annually, either directly or from indirect consequences of malnutrition. And overall, globally, about 2 million plus are affected by this hidden hunger problem. So the severity of vitamin A, iron, and zinc deficiency is more prominent in these countries, which are shown in the darker shade, and you can see that the three micronutrients deficiencies are quite prominent in our country and also in the neighboring countries of India. So hidden hunger, this is the distribution in terms of iron deficiency, vitamin A and iron deficiency, iodine, vitamin A and iron deficiency. So this you can see here in the legend, the darker orange color, which is found in some pockets of our country, exhibit those regions, those geographical regions exhibit both iodine, vitamin A and iron deficiency. That means these three coexist in these areas. So by and large, we can see that in the African continent, in the South America and Asian continent, we do find these many areas are at high risk of micronutrient deficiencies. So generally, how do we overcome these micronutrient deficiencies? The most common approaches used are supplementation. Like I think all of you are familiar, either multiple multivitamin, multimineral, supplements are prescribed by the doctors. And there can be another commercial fortification method, like, any food can be fortified, like wheat flour or other cereal flours or oil, etc. One example we have is the salt is fortified with iodine so that we don't end up with iodine deficiency. So at the commercial level, fortification can be undertaken, but this definitely will be quite costlier. And the most easiest one is to bring in diet diversity. That is, create awareness among the general masses through nutrition education, and that can help increase the nutrition knowledge of individuals, so that they can include different types of foods, like that is more diversity, so that they can derive most of these micronutrients from different sources. Now, the general strategies for fortification which can be adopted are, apart from these interventions, like, how to fortify foods. I talked about the fortification. Commercial fortification is one of the strategy for complementary intervention. So either we can address at the agronomical practice level, or enhance or fortify some of the foods. Example, wheat flour and others, which are staple foods, can be fortified with some selected micronutrients. Other one is dietary biodiversity and supplementation. And supplementation is not a sustainable method, because for how long can one keep rely on supplements? So that is not a sustainable strategy. We must actually derive it from the natural foods or from the regular diet. And the fourth one is biofortification. That is what we will be discussing about. So why, with this background, we understand that biofortification appears to be a most viable strategy. The reason is, see, population over the world is steadily increasing, and this can result in shortage of food supply. As we all know, there are shortage of natural resources, including water, and the cultivable land is also getting, reduced because of acquiring and the vertical constructions happening, etc. Then this can lead to hunger and malnutrition, which in turn will lead to morbidity, mortality. And all of this is definitely a challenge for humanity at the global level. The WHO also has given an estimate that where undernutrition coexists, overnutrition also coexists, which is in the form of overweight and obesity. About 15 billion are expected to be overweight, are supposed to be overweight worldwide. And the coexistence of both forms of malnutrition, that is undernutrition and overnutrition, it is common in almost all countries, including the developed and the developing countries. And this phenomena is referred to as dual burden of malnutrition. That is, in a country like India, we do have undernourished population, and we have an overnourished population, which is also a form of malnutrition, because that is resulting from imbalanced consumption, imbalanced nutrient consumption, along with low physical activity and other health habits are not being followed, or a healthy lifestyle not being followed. So dual burden of malnutrition. And today we are talking of triple burden of malnutrition. The triple burden, the third one is the burden of hidden hunger. That is the lack of micronutrients or micronutrient deficiency. So to address this issue, a viable and sustainable strategy, agriculturists and all scientists dealing with this, even public health nutritionists are agreeable with this concept, is biofortification. Now, it is a strategy which is being currently researched all over the world for developing to increase the bioabsorbable content of micronutrient in the edible portion of the staple food crop. Now, the micronutrients which were initially investigated were iron, provitamin A, that is carotene, and zinc. Now, here is a pictorial comparison of fortified versus biofortified. Now, the plant, you can see here, the plant is already grown. Now, after you take the product, that is the product from the plant is obtained, and then during processing, you add some of the micronutrients. For example, calcium or sodium or zinc or anything you might be adding. So this is nothing but fortification. So this actually will be quite expensive, because it involves the intervention of the food industry, and we have to rely on technology. Apart from, compared to that, if you enrich the soil content in terms of nutrients in the soil, then the plant can absorb it, and therefore a biofortified plant will have higher nutritive content of either any of the either magnesium or iron or zinc. So this is the concept of biofortification. I'm sure all of you are familiar with. So a biofortified a biofortified crop is definitely more nutritious, and nutritious in the concept that it is it will contain higher amount of essential micronutrients, and this is generally developed through plant breeding. It could be including the genetic engineering. So here is a pictorial comparison of the three ways how today we are dealing with micronutrient deficiencies. Like, let's talk from the bottom panel of the picture. Supplementation is what we take. I think most of us in our lifetime, definitely we would have taken some supplements like either vitamin C or vitamin B12, folic acid, or calcium. Most women after 40 are advised to take calcium because the calcium which we are getting from our daily food consumption is not meeting the recommendations, and also women after menopause are more prone to osteoporosis and other issues. So therefore calcium is required. So these are dietary supplements, that is which you take on the plate or in the form of a pill, etc. The other form is biofortification, which is done in the factory. As I explained earlier, the crop is obtained, that is after it is grown, then it is for harvested, and it is in the industry, that is at the some technology is used, and then you fortify it in terms of some micronutrient, and you get the fortified product. We do have many of the fortified products available in the market. Now the third option is biofortification, wherein you are adding up the nutrients, micronutrients in the crop itself. That is, the content of that nutrient is enhanced. So you can obtain it by genetic modification or even by selective breeding. So we will have a look at this. So where there are low monetary resources, that results in lack of diversity, and you are dependent therefore on only one type of staple food. Like, as we know, most of the people who live under the below poverty line or at the border of the BPL, they depend only on either rice, only one staple food only. Now this is one of the reason why the micronutrient deficiencies can be widespread, and breeding staple crops to have higher levels of essential micronutrients using methods like selective breeding and biotechnology appear to be very practical. And this is what is biofortification. So the staple food in whichever region, whether it is north or northeast, northwest, depending on the staple food what they consume, because it is consumed in larger quantity, that staple food can be selected for biofortification and enhance the content of either vitamin A or zinc or iron, depending on the prevalence of micronutrient deficiencies in that particular area. So the common approaches which are used for biofortification, as I mentioned earlier, is conventional breeding or genetic engineering and agronomic practices. So let us look into each one. Conventional breeding is a very common approach which is used, where it involves to select and breed plants with higher nutrient content. For example, one with high iron content within existing varieties of a particular plant are searched, and then they are bred into cultivated varieties by crossing in order to obtain a desired characteristic. This concept all of us are aware of. The other one is genetic engineering, wherein we employ biotechnology principles to introduce or enhance the specific genes which are responsible for synthesis of that particular nutrient. Could be beta carotene, could be iron or zinc or magnesium. Then lastly, agronomic approaches like enhance the nutrient content of the soil by using some fertilizers to enhance, and this will enhance the nutrient uptake by the crop, and therefore that plant will have higher content of that particular nutrient. So biofortification through fertilizer application has been successfully used especially when the soil content of, the soil content in terms of iodine and selenium is enhanced. Now, here we have to understand that all three methods may not be applicable. Again, it depends on the plant or the staple crop. Now, for some, and also the nutrient. Now, for example, if you want to enhance the content of iodine or selenium or zinc, the agriculture scientists from ICR have said that, you can achieve that through fertilizer application, because of the fact that iodine and selenium, these minerals, they are mobile in the soil, and you can achieve the biofortified plant with higher iodine content when you use iodine and selenium fertilizers. And also application of zinc sulfate can yield zinc content in cereals and legumes. So this is the pictorial depiction of how it is, just to explain. Grains ultimately will be enriched in the selenium, in terms of selenium, when in the soil itself, some salt of selenium is added, and the root will absorb it, and therefore the plant, the edible portion in the plant, will have a higher content of selenium. So some of the nutrients which are targeted for biofortification, crop wise, see in rice, because rice is deficit in terms of zinc and iron, one can use biofortification as a method to enhance the zinc and iron content in rice and wheat. In maize, beta carotene and zinc, and in cassava, beta carotene. In beans, iron, because these crops are low in these nutrients. Hence, and since these will be consumed more often compared to others, these crops are chosen for biofortification. And pearl millet, though is rich in other micronutrients, iron and zinc content is low in it. Sweet potato is biofortified with beta carotene, then lentils, potato, and sorghum. So based on population needs and the crop consumption by the vulnerable population, and the potential to achieve increased levels of micronutrients through conventional breeding. So this is the backdrop under which the target nutrients are selected. So some examples of biofortified crops: rice, sweet potato, beans, legumes, and cassava has been successfully biofortified with iron. And again, rice, wheat, sweet potato, maize, and beans for zinc, and provitamin A, that is carotenoid. Cassava in terms of amino acids and protein biofortification also has been achieved. So the goals of biofortification ultimately are to reduce prevalence of specific nutrient deficiencies, especially in low-income populations, because there is no diet diversity, and they consume only some staple cereal, and they are not consuming all foods from various food groups. And it can be achieved by increasing the micronutrient content of the staple food crop. And also the bioavailability, one has to look into the bioavailability, so therefore it can increase the adequacy of micronutrients. Ultimately, the goal is to contribute to prevention of micronutrient deficiencies by reaching all household members. So the same is depicted here. This is how a biofortification program strategy is. Like, you set the targets, which is the population, which is the micronutrient, and what are the environmental conditions under which that particular crop is grown. So it depends on the geographical location. So then you can achieve you can improve the nutrient content of the crop by using breeding techniques, or the genetic engineering technique, or the fertilizers, agronomic practices. And this, by any of those methods, we are achieving better nutrient retention and bioavailability. And these seeds will result in, from the biofortified crops will be richer in those nutrient content. And when we consume the seeds, that the millets is nothing but the seed only. So when you consume these, yeah, definitely our intake of these micronutrients will be more. And ultimately, you have to market, and then we have to see the acceptance. So this is quite a challenge for people when you have added, when the crop is biofortified with beta carotene, the color will be a little different because of the orange color. Maybe acceptance may be a little lesser because we are used to the perception of certain foods having some colors, and if it varies, then acceptance may be lower. However, when we can create awareness, we can advise people, tell them what is the benefit of consuming, only then acceptance can be improved. So this is how the strategy, this is the program strategy, the framework of it. Okay, so the benefits of it are, as I mentioned earlier, we can reach the rural populations without the need for pharmaceutical or synthetic supplements, because you cannot provide supplements for lifelong to improve the nutritional status. Definitely this is not a viable strategy. And the second benefit is that it reduces the susceptibility to social and economic changes, and there is a great potential to impact a large number at low cost per person. So that is one of the advantage of biofortification. So let's have a quick look at what is the status of biofortification in India. In India, ICR has taken up a lot of initiatives in this particular area. They have started the Nutrisensitive Agriculture Resources and Innovations Program to promote family farming, linking agriculture to nutrition. Apart from that, NutriSmart villages also have they have started ICR to enhance nutritional security, and location-specific nutrition garden models are developed, which are promoted by KVKs, so that they will have access to locally available, healthy and diversified diet. Then another initiative by the government is under the National Food Security Mission. Assistance is given through state or union territory to farmers for interventions. So this also, so that they are their knowledge improves and they are given some assistance, there can be sustainability, especially for supply of high yielding varieties, the hybrids cropping system based on, some training is also being offered to the farmers. Government has given a strong endorsement to staple crop biofortification. As I mentioned, this appears to, because it is one of the sustainable and cost-effective solution to alleviate malnutrition. Since 2014, so far ICR has developed 142 biofortified varieties, which includes 124 field crops such as rice, wheat, maize, etc., and 18 horticultural crops, which includes sweet potato, amaranthus, yam, potato, and cauliflower. There are many varieties. So one each of cauliflower, okra, that is the lady's finger, grapes, banana, guava, and pomegranate. So the advantages of these biofortified varieties is they do not impact the ecological conditions. That is, in terms of soil and water, there is no change. And since these are normally bred varieties, their requirement of water and nutrients of biofortified plant varieties is the same as that of traditional varieties. So they don't have an additional demand or they don't need any special conditions. They're equal or better in yield. That is yet one more advantage. And the third advantage is that they are not as expensive as existing varieties in the market. So there is no yield penalty and no extra cost incurred in the cultivation of these varieties. So some proof of concept I am presenting here. One is about the golden rice. Now you can see the visual depiction. You have in one palm the white rice, and the other one, this one is enhanced with beta carotene. So this is the crop produced through genetic engineering to biosynthesize beta carotene, precursor of vitamin A. New way to address, this is a new way to address vitamin A deficiency. So so far, not only in India, many other countries, including Malaysia, Thailand and all have successfully produced golden rice 1 and improved golden rice 2. In this second version of golden rice, the beta carotene content is 23 times higher than the golden rice 1 variety. And the bioavailability studies have also been conducted. There is a better absorption of this beta carotene present in this golden rice too. And NI, National Institute of Nutrition, has conducted these studies, and it has been confirmed that if one consumes about 72 grams of golden rice variety 2 per day, it is enough to avoid vitamin E deficiency, especially in children. And studies have shown no risk to human health because of consumption of this variety of rice. And this has been presented, this data has been presented in 2000, but golden rice 1 is being cultivated, golden rice 2 is yet not cultivated. Then these are some some information I am sharing from the ICR work. You know, they have, as I mentioned, they have come up with more than 140 different varieties, including wheat, rice, maize, pearl millet, finger millet, lentil. The list goes on. I have just selected a few to show here. That is wheat. There are many varieties have been chosen. Some only to enhance the iron content. In one, they have tried only zinc. But in one variety, that is the MACS 4028 durum variety, this is a pure line variety, they have attempted the enhancement of 3 nutrients, that is protein, iron, and zinc. So the protein content, normally the protein content in the other variety, non-biofortified variety, is about 11 to 12 grams. But this variety is rich in protein, it is higher, and it's about 14.7. Iron content is more, and zinc in comparison to the protein and the iron and zinc in other popular varieties. The grain yield per hectare is also higher, and the maturity time is also similar to the other varieties. And the advantage is that it is suitable for rain-fed, low fertility, and timely sown conditions. And it has been adapted in Maharashtra and Karnataka. All of them have been developed by ICR. You look at rice, even the protein content of rice is just about 6 to 7%. This variety is 10%. Along with protein, it is higher in zinc. Then the other one is maize. Maize has been enriched through biofortification strategy, higher in provitamin A, lysine, and tryptophan amino acid. So in comparison to the content present in the other hybrid varieties. So the grain yield of this also is higher, and it is suitable for peninsular zone and northern hill zone. It is adopted as kharif crop in Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, although hilly regions. Then lentils enriched with iron and zinc. Finger millet, that is the ragi, which we all commonly know it as. Still, this variety has higher iron, zinc, and calcium. And pearl millet has been enriched with iron and zinc. So these are some glimpses. And here is a comparison of the trait-wise biofortified varieties, which are developed through breeding, and crop-wise biofortified varieties developed through breeding. So you can see, like, they have tried in enhancing the protein or the iron, zinc, or calcium content. And this is crop-wise, which is achieved in rice, in wheat, in maize. So many different types of crops have been tried for biofortification. So the current status in India is ICAR and ICMR have analyzed bioaccessibility of provitamin A maize using in vitro model systems, and the results are quite encouraging. As I mentioned earlier, consumption of 72 grams of golden rice will ensure that child will not have vitamin A deficiency, and absorption of that also is much higher, and there are no health risks associated. And taking lead from this study, a clinical trial is planned, and I'm sure this is already rolled out. This is planned by ICMR in collaboration with ICR to evaluate the effects of consumption of provitamin A rich maize. And provitamin A rich maize has been fed to chickens. Preclinical studies have been conducted, and there they have found that the poultry fed this maize, provitamin A rich maize. They have analyzed the vitamin A content in the eggs of these chicken, and they found that the content is higher in the egg. So consuming the chick or the egg also will provide us a higher amount of beta carotene. Efficacy trials of biofortified varieties are needed. So this is something which we really need, though it is done in small scale, or as pilot studies these have been done. We need larger trials. And definitely high yielding biofortified crops are of great significance for enhancing nutritional security. We have to move from food security. As I said, it's not sufficient just having enough rice or any one staple cereal. We must be secure in terms of the nutrients, which we can derive only when we consume different types of foods. So it is not just only being secure in terms of energy and protein. We need to be secure in terms of several micronutrients, which includes vitamins and minerals. So to achieve this, we need a coordinated effort, or rather a triangular relationship. We need to connect agriculture, health, and nutrition, and this can be achieved only through partnerships. So some global initiatives I would like to share here. I'm sure you have heard of Harvest Plus program. This is a global program which promotes biofortification to improve nutrition and public health. Especially, they first started with rice, wheat, beans, and cassava. And this Harvest Plus has operated in India also since 2011, both with private and public partners. And this is promoting biofortified crops and building out biofortified seed and crop value chains, because availability of these seeds are very important if you want to educate the farmer and you want the farmer to use this. Then there's yet one more is GAIN, or Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition. This also is spread out in many countries, especially in developing countries. And they are working on different aspects of health and nutrition. And one such is in the field of agriculture. They are promoting biofortification, again, as a viable strategy. Hello? Any problem? Harvest Plus, as I said, it was launched in 2004 in UK and in India only in 2011. And this is from generous grants coming from Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation grants. They are focusing, they have selected 7 staple crops and to enhance the iron, zinc, and beta carotene content in these 7 staple crops. So here is a bird's eye view of which country is growing what. Most common conventionally bred crops are maize, beans, rice, and wheat. And most common micronutrient deficiencies which are widespread or which are globally found are vitamin A, iron, and zinc deficiency. So to target that, these are the various countries which are focusing on biofortification as a viable strategy. So this is the golden rice project which I mentioned earlier. Now they have even tried to enhance the selenium content. So it is dual. It is not just only beta carotene, it is also richer in enriched with selenium. As I said, this fertilizer or agronomic practices are more suitable for mobile minerals, that is the minerals which are mobile in the soil. And as I mentioned earlier, golden rice too has higher level of beta carotene. And now selenium biofortified wheat is also available. So this is how it looks. So it is only that individual perception. We want our rice to be white, or we don't want our chapatis to look little orangish. But if you overlook the only the appearance, physical appearance, nutritive wise, they will be richer in these micronutrients. There have been some studies, as I mentioned earlier, where they have confirmed the bioavailability of these nutrients, especially iron and zinc, which have been obtained through genetic engineering. And they are trying to combine like all the three micronutrients in the same crop. So this is still under optimization, and some proof of concept studies coming from Philippines. They have also there also rice is one of the staple crop, and to a larger extent malnutrition is widespread, particularly the micronutrient deficiencies. So they are attempting to grow the rice crops through genetic engineering with enhanced iron and zinc content. Then some case studies from Mozambique, where the orange sweet potato, that is, you can see that what the children are holding, it's more orange. The sweet potato, definitely what we are used to is not this orange. This has more beta carotene. And in some of these countries, especially African countries, they consume the cassava, sweet potato to a larger extent. That is why Harvest Plus first started this micronutrient rich crop, especially beta carotene enriched sweet potato, or orange sweet potato is what they call. So some of the crops which are released in Africa and Asia, provitamin A, now that is the potato enriched with beta carotene, cassava, also with carotene, beta carotene, maize also with provitamin A, that is beta carotene, and beans, particularly the legume, the dry one, with iron, and the pearl millet with iron. And this has been tested, and these efforts have been undertaken by ICAR. Rice with zinc and wheat with zinc. These were all some of the crops released in Asian countries. So what is the impact of biofortified crops on public health? So ultimately, we started with malnutrition. For eradication or alleviation of malnutrition, we need many strategies. Among all those strategies, most viable and sustainable one is biofortified crops. So this definitely will have an impact on public health in terms of addressing micronutrient deficiencies. As I've been telling, it is quite a cost-effective approach to combat hidden hunger. And definitely this can improve and have better health outcomes, because if you consume a crop, instead of taking a supplement every day, your crop itself has got higher content of that nutrient. And if that is a staple crop or a staple food, then regular consumption of that will help in increasing or providing higher content of that particular nutrient. And this will in turn reduce the risk of chronic diseases also. So, for example, if you consume the vitamin A rich biofortified crops, it can help contribute to healthy vision, and it can reduce the risk of blindness. Even today, there are cases of a complete vision loss due to long-term vitamin A deficiency in children. Though the percentage has come down, it is still prevalent in our country and also in the developing countries. So biofortification can contribute to reducing healthcare costs, which are associated with treating nutritional deficiencies. Adequate nutrition, as we all know, including micronutrients, is very, very essential for cognitive development, to enhance the learning capacity and educational performance or scholastic performance of children. And it provides a sustainable and a long-term solution, because it is ingrained in the staple food crop. You don't have to repeatedly keep supplementing yourself. And addressing nutritional deficiencies through biofortification certainly will contribute to global health security. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, there are some challenges also. Color changes in the grain. If it is fortified with beta carotene, then obviously the rice or the sweet potato or whichever staple food has been chosen, the color will be different, or it will be more darker or more orangish. So people might hesitate to accept biofortified food, as in the case of golden rice. That is why it is the golden rice variety 2, though it has 23 times more higher beta carotene content, is still not commercialized in India. So it is because of this, and for which I think all of us have to, including the grassroots workers or the health workers, etc. They will have to increase the nutrition knowledge, increase their awareness, and clarify their myths. And it has to be adopted in large scale by farmers. Initial costs could be a barrier for people to implement. However, now many schemes are launched to support the farmers in order to adopt biofortified crops or grow biofortified crops in their fields. So definitely we see a bright future in terms of for biofortified crops, because there are a lot of variations in dietary habits of Indians, or within Karnataka itself, or within South region itself, in South India, there are a lot of differences in our dietary habits. So this biofortification can cater to the local needs of the population. As I said, the crop can be identified, and those local crops can be grown there in that area and supplied. So the opportunities are many, challenges are also there. So still some basic gaps are there. Then some traits such as iron content are difficult to change because plants have evolved to maintain homeostasis, and new crop varieties will still take some more time to be released into the market, and all of this need sustained funding. So the challenges and considerations: while biofortification offers promising health benefits, you have to consider the cultural ethos or the cultural acceptance of biofortified crops, not to forget the regulatory aspects and ongoing research to monitor and enhance the effectiveness. So India faces huge nutritional challenges, and considering all this, in this scenario, biofortification certainly is a sustainable, cost-effective method which can help resolve the challenge of hidden hunger or micronutrient deficiencies. So as I said, we need a three-pronged approach, and a plan that is botanists for plant breeding, human health, and nutritional sciences all have to marry each other, and that is when we can achieve food security and nutritional security. Thank you very much. So if you have any queries, I'll be happy to clarify.
Hello.
Yes.
Thank you very much, madam, for valuable information. Myself, Dr. Kavita GC, Davangere University. Ma'am, I have one question.
Please.
If continuous intake of biofortified food, can it lead to any side effects, madam? For example, like risk of vitamin overdose?
No. See, you will let us take an example. We may consume 200 grams of rice per day, right? Okay. 200 grams of rice. The level of fortification will not exceed that upper tolerable limit. Okay. So let us say it will provide you 10 times more, and all that what we consume is not 100% absorbed. So there are a lot of issues with regard to the bioavailability of micronutrients. So none of them except salt, nothing else, sodium, nothing is 100% absorbed. So if it is calcium, or if it is zinc, or if it is iron, not all are absorbed completely. So therefore, it will not result in any toxicity levels. That is why I said it is safe to consume.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, black rice is a biofortified rice variety or not, ma'am?
Which
Black
one?
rice. Black rice.
Black rice. No, that is not the biofortified variety.
Okay.
Hello, ma'am.
See, if it is enriched with iron, it will result in very dark color. Yes.